Hi, this is John Patrick Hickey. I want to welcome you to the video cast. There is this romantic idea, I'm sure all of us has had at some point, that thinks, I just want to hit the road, and wherever I end up, I end up. Now, I was a teenager back in the 60s, and one of the things that I did back then was I did a lot of hitchhiking, which was common back then, believe me. And let me tell you right now, don't do it today. It is not safe. Back then, lots of people did it. It was just kind of part of the culture, and it really wasn't that dangerous of a thing. But I went back and forth across the U.S. It was this whole idea of thinking of the freedom that you had. You just went out on the road, and wherever you ended up, you ended up. And there was that idea that you weren't bound by anything, and you could do what you want when you want. Well, freedom, you find out when you grow up, freedom is not a lack of responsibility. It is not making others take care of you or not having any connections to anything. True freedom comes with responsibility. True freedom is the ability to make decisions for your life and carry them out. That is the greatest freedom of all. Just heading to no place may sound nice, but what does it get you? It gets you nothing. That's what you find at no place. You find nothing. There is nothing there, believe me. You have nothing to show for your life. You have no achievements that you can look at. You have no way of taking care of yourself, no advancement. You're going to get older. Everybody always does. It's part of the reality of living, is that you age. And it breaks my heart. I know I was a young, irresponsible person, but I can say that I did grow up. I've seen people from my generation who never have grown up. They're still the same lost, wandering souls that they were back then. And what do they have to show for it? Nothing. Where did they get to? Nowhere. The great Zig Ziglar said that it's just as hard to reach a place you don't know as it is to come back from a place where you've never been. Think about that. It's true. It is hard to reach a place you don't know. It's just as hard to come back from a place where you've never been. There's nothing there. There's no reality. There's no connection. It might be a nice romantic idea of hitting the road. It was like, back in the 50s and early 60s, there was a group of people who were commonly called hobos. Now, these people would jump on trains and ride the trains all over the country, and there was this great thinking that, what a wonderful life that people lived. And when I started hitting the road, that was my image. That was the idea that I had. You want to know what the reality was? The reality was eating out of garbage cans because you couldn't find food for yourself. The reality was sleeping in the rain when it was cold and you had no place else to go. The reality was always being in fear that what little you had would be taken away from you by somebody who was dishonest, who was traveling with you. There is a lot of things that reality makes very different than the romance that you might think that is there. So let's talk about that freedom. What does freedom really mean? What is the essence of that free spirit that we all desire to have? Well, like I said, part of that is responsibility. But the other part is the ability to take control of your life, take control of your destiny, to be able to say, I know where I'm going and this is what I'm going to do. There are three things I want to share with you. The first one is, and that, I just mentioned it, that is know where you want to go. Know what you want in life. What do you want to achieve? Now, we all have been created for a purpose. I truly, truly believe that. That every human being on the face of this planet has a purpose. And the fulfillment of that purpose is what makes us complete and whole. I've talked to people who, said, well, I don't know what my purpose is. Well, what do you want to do? That's where it all starts. What do you really want to do? What is that thing that keeps coming back into your life that you really want to do? Is there something you want to learn? Is there a particular job you want to do? Is there something you have a passion about that keeps coming up over and over and over again that you just haven't pursued because you either have thought you weren't able to, or that you aren't smart enough, you're too old, you're too young, whatever it is, the myriad of excuses that we give for not achieving our goals. But what is it you want to do? Cut the excuses and go after it. Set a plan. What is it? Write it down. Make it real. What is it that you want to do? The second is be willing to do what it takes in order to achieve that goal. Now, I want to clarify something for you right off the bat here. And that is, when I talk about being willing to do whatever it takes, I am never, ever talking about doing things that are dishonest or that are shady or that are hurtful to other people. Ever. Those are not the whatever it takes. Whatever it takes means, do I have to go back to school and learn something that I don't know? Then go back to school. Be willing to do that. Now, you get the excuse, and I've shared that with you before, about people who say, well, that's 5 more years. Well, 5 years are going to pass. There's not a thing you can do about 5 years. What you can do is what you do in those 5 years. So do what it takes in order to do that. Do you have to save up money? Do you have to learn more? Do you have to meet different people than who you know now? Do you have to go to a different location? Do what is necessary in order to achieve that goal, so that you have taken the steps to move you forward. And the last point, and it is the most important, and that is stay with it. You don't give up. The person who gives up loses every single time. That is the only reason for failure, is to give up. You gotta keep going. You gotta keep pushing. The great Yogi Berra used to say, you just can't beat a man who won't give up. And that's the truth. As long as you're willing to continue after your goals, as long as you're willing to keep pushing ahead and doing it, you fall down, if you fail, you get up, you do it again. And if you continually move yourself forward to achieve the things you want to achieve, success has to be yours. It cannot be denied you, because you won't let that happen. So go after those things. Don't go to no place. Go to someplace. Always be moving towards something, and make that something what you want. And as you go there, be your best. Love God, have good manners, discover the unknown, and change your world. We at the Growth Center are committed to helping you achieve your dreams and live a successful life. For more information on books and materials offered, visit our website at www.johnpatrickhickey.com. That's www.johnpatrickhickey.com.